Maybe you've been there, maybe you haven't. You've got a master that hits your LUFS target perfectly, maybe even overshoots it. But the moment you subject it to the car test, it shrinks into the road noise, and no amount of loudinating will rectify the problem. This was my conundrum with a song called Blood-Soaked Bay. To my ears in the studio and on Airwindows Meter, everything seemed good to go. Minus 11.8 LUFS and a sonority rating of 85%. A bit high, but still in the Goldilocks zone for an acoustic arrangement focused on vocal intelligibility. But in the real world, that 85% sonority rating represented a wall of spectral density that led to the mix being largely masked by the ambient noise of automotive travel, especially in the low end. The density of the low end needed not attenuating, but a controlled thinning out that would redistribute some of its energy into the high mids and trebles. It became clear to me that some kind of a global high-pass maneuver might be called for, but not the kind I would get from a typical EQ maneuver. Again, I didn't just want to attenuate that low-end energy, but to reallocate it toward the high end. This would be reflected in the meter rating by a lowering of the dark rating and a corresponding elevation of the bright rating, with perhaps a modest reduction in the sonority rating. In this video, I'm going to show how I used a specific stage of my modular Airwindows Frankenstein stack saturation core to accomplish this. By leveraging Airwindows Density's high-pass saturation, I performed a global energy redistribution rather than a simple subtractive EQ cut. This maneuver thinned the spectral density of the low end without the volume reduction and phase smearing of a traditional EQ, shifted that energy toward the high end, and accomplished all of this while optimizing microtransient topology in the vocal range, so that the mix could finally stand above the ambient noise of the road. In the end, I had a song that sounded much louder in the car at a reduced LUFS rating of minus 12.3. Here's the breakdown. Now, one more bit of script before I proceed. Non-linear reallocation. A standard EQ high pass is a subtractive linear process. Energy is lost by way of amplitude reduction and is often attended by phase smearing at the corner frequency. Airwindows Density, via its sine-based saturation, takes the push of that low-end energy and uses it to drive the high-frequency shimmer, literally transmuting some of that low-end weight into high-end texture. All right, now, here you see density at the settings I used. Density at 2.45. High pass cranked all the way to 1. But the dry wet set at 0.18. And that's the key. So I'm performing this maneuver, but layering it at a pretty light setting. And of course, these are the settings that I arrived at primarily by ear, but also with visual reference to what I was seeing on Airwindows Meter. So, with all of that preamble out of the way and without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and hit play with density bypassed. And then I'm going to turn this instance of density, Airwindows Density, on. And you'll be able to hear the difference. It's a not so subtle difference. But the real striking difference is the one that took place, again, in the car on the road test it really got this mix to punch through that road noise and seem as loud as the LUFS rating would predict that it would be. So here we go. Density is off.
The SSB recruited me to dispatch and ride the secret line.
I'm going to let Sonority get up to the 80s.
Washington to Richmond, hidden by friends in old gold mines. I didn't know I'd meet a gal that cut her hair, wearing gray, fighting a war, riding her mare.
Now density on.
She followed me into the fray of the spy game. We married in a war-torn evening rain. We rose from the ashes, carrying letters we held. Our mission was clearing
now you can see
the wilderness where we dwelled.
Dark is down at 0.
Ride all day,
Bright up to 20.
sometimes through the night.
Sonority below 8.
Making love when we rested by campfire light. It wasn't supposed to end this way. I went to your family with your blood-soaked babe. Buried you and retired her that day. Rose sent you on a suicide mission and to an early grave. I followed you into a battle between blue and gray. Before we knew it, a bullet found its way into your chest. I was left alone to carry all the love we professed. I draped your lifeless body over your steed, leading you both back home with me. We rose from the ashes, carrying letters we held. Our mission was clearing the wilderness where we dwelled. We'd ride all day, sometimes through the night, making love when we rested by campfire light. It wasn't supposed to end this way. I went to your family with your blood-soaked babe. Buried you and retired her that day. Buried you and retired her that day.
Now, is this totally optimal? Maybe not. I still like to have a sort of nominal dark reading of, say, 2 to 3%, but it's a substantial improvement, and the important thing is that it now translates well to the road environment. So anyway, that is my Airwindows Density Highpass maneuver, presented as is for your consideration. This has been Vinyl Bear from lowly humble Vinyl Bear Studio in lovely scenic Paju City, South Korea, where the cherry blossoms are beginning to pop. May the winds of clarity blow ever in your favor. Over and out.